Hey backpackers, this is Juan from Juan Backpacks, and I'm here today to talk to you about my electronics charging system. I'm huge on systems, whether it's backpacking or whether it's fishing. You know, I've got my cook system, I've got my sleep system, all the things that I do. Typically, I want to try to reduce the weight, reduce the form factor, and also reduce the number of steps it takes me to get things done. This is my charging system. I'm going to go into detail in a couple of minutes here, but this is built on an NB10000 battery bank. And then you can see here I have all the adapters and all the cords I need, nicely compacted, and this is it. This kit, this system will charge my Garmin watch. It will charge my Nitecore headlamp. It will charge my InReach Mini and also the phone that I'm recording on now for about 8 days, maybe possibly 10 days with normal use. What I mean by normal use, I think the biggest battery, thing here could be the Garmin watch or the InReach Mini. My Garmin watch, I don't track my routes on the Garmin watch because it does use a ton of battery. I use my InReach Mini, and the tracking I set to a pretty long interval so that it doesn't chew up a lot of battery when I'm out there. Again, it's about definitely 8 days, I know that for sure, possibly up to 10 days depending on how you're using your things. So let's dive into the system, and I'll talk more in detail as I go through it. Okay, backpackers, this system comes in at 6.3 ounces total. This is good for, like I said, up to 8 days of charging the items that I talked to you about. But obviously you could probably stretch that to 10 days if you really were, kind of not using your things as much as I do, or your electronics as much as I do. If you needed to do, like, say, a resupply on a long through hike, which I've done, you can just add a wall charger adapter. I have this Quick IQ Anchor wall charger adapter. That drives the weight up by 1 ounce. So the total kit then, if you're doing through hiking, you need to recharge your core battery again, you would be at 7.3 ounces total. So the battery is a Nitecore 10000, NB10000. It's a new ultralight battery with carbon fiber casing. And so that's what makes this system so light, plus the way I've designed it and put it all together. The other key components of the system, there's a adapter here that you can put on the NB10000. There's a maker on Etsy that prints this. Actually, it's 3D printed. And so you can get any configuration, well, not any, but you can get a lot of different configurations to fit different adapters on it. And I do have a video about that on my YouTube channel, and I'll leave a link to the Etsy website below as well. So here are the components. Number one, I've got a adapter for a female C to micro USB. This will charge my InReach Mini. This will charge my Nitecore headlamp. So I've got this female C adapter to micro USB, and that charges those things. The other adapter I have here is a USB-C female to the adapter for the Garmin watch. And so that's another adapter that I have as part of this system. The cords, I try to reduce the cords to reduce weight and clutter as well. So this cord is, I believe, a 7-inch or 8-inch cord. This short cord goes from USB-C for the output of the NB10000 to my iPhone. So that's one of the cords. The second cord is the cord that comes with the Nitecore battery. It's USB to C, and so if I am charging the battery itself, I can use this adapter in the wall charger to the C and then put this in the USB port here to charge the battery. And the other thing that having two cords does in this system is allow me to charge two different items at the same time. That's exactly what I was going for. I didn't want to charge, 3 or 4 at the same time. 2 is good enough for me. Usually only 1 or 2 of my electronics needs charged at any given time anyway. So if I'm in the field, and I need to stop a resupply and charge this battery, I will, like I said, plug in the USB and then plug in the C and plug it to the wall and then be able to charge my battery. When I'm out in the field and at the end of the night and I'm trying to charge, I'll have two options. I can charge from the USB, I can charge from the USB-C. And here's how I do that with these adapters and so forth. I'll take this cord, and obviously this one's dedicated really to my iPhone, which tends to need charged the most because I use it for navigation using gut hooks, or now it's called Far Out and other apps like that. And so I usually like to keep my phone charged at 100% all the time. Plus I'm doing video and photos and so forth, so it usually needs the most attention at the end of the day. And so I'll plug this in. Then my other electronics will get charged through the USB port using various adapters. And so I'll go ahead and plug this in. Whoops. And so now you can see my light's on there because it's ready to charge. And then I can take this cord, which is the USB-C coming from here, and this again is the original Nikkor, and I could take this adapter and I can charge my InReach Mini from this micro USB, or I could charge my Nikkor headlamp from this USB micro. Once that's charged, my phone still might be charging, but I can then switch up. If my Garmin watch needs charged, I can put this adapter on and charge this at the same time I'm charging my phone. And so again, your electronic system might be a little bit different than mine. You might need a little bit adjustment to the configuration of a system. But again, I think the core is I'm using adapters as much as possible. I'm using two different two cords so that I have maximum output possibility out of the battery itself. And then, like I said, I'll throw in this charging block in times when I'm going to do resupplies on long through hikes that are, multiple stops, multiple resupplies. So that is my charging system. This system comes in, again, at 6.3 ounces. And then with the charging block for longer trips, multiple stops and recharging of the core battery, the MB10000, it would be 7.3 ounces. That's really lighter than most battery banks alone, let alone all the cords and all the adapters to get all your charging done. So there you have it, backpackers, a charging system that charges multiple electronics coming in at 6.1 ounces. You can't beat it, and it'll keep you charged up 8 days out on the trail, depending on use. I always got to throw in that disclaimer, right? So backpackers, until next time, get out there, do some backpacking, do some hiking, get off of YouTube and stop watching these videos. Unless they're my videos, then watch them all from start to finish. Later, backpackers.